Hey everyone, Tony D and Little Joan here with a hot take. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. You are what makes this channel great. We're at 1,904 subscribers, and we're pushing to get that 2,000, that 2K, and eventually 2020, just like the year. Wouldn't that be cool? So please smash like and subscribe. Now, the Nobel Peace Prize. Who's won this? What kind of people win the Nobel Peace Prize? Well, early on, it was guys like Jean-Henri Durand, who founded the International Red Cross and started the Geneva Conventions. Frédéric Pousset, who created a French peace society in 1889, worked for peace a lot of his life. You had these two guys who were Élie Dumanican, Charles Albert Goubat, who worked in peace activism, worked in the ranks, helped found peace committees. You have guys like William Randall Crémat. I don't know if he's French. Maybe it's Kramer. And this guy, he negotiated peace between the United Arab Emirates and other nations in the Middle East. He put to rest the Serbian-Kosovo conflict of that time and normalized relations also with other countries in the Middle East. And he was active with Bahrain and normalizing their relations. Afghanistan, he signed a peace deal there and helped draw down that war at the time, because there's always been wars in Afghanistan, right? 1903, I believe it was the British, and he helped reduce the troops. And even on the Korean Peninsula at the time, there were warring factions, and he helped. Although he didn't get a peace deal, he helped ratchet down the tensions at that time. So you can see that all these people deserve the Nobel Peace Prize, right? I'm glad we're agreed. But the credits I read for William Randall Kremer, I didn't really read his credits at all. I just read you Trump's credits. Those were Trump's credits. Peace credits. Let me not ruin Randall's deal. What did he do? International Arbitration League, secretary for the International Arbitration League, which was probably a prototype of things like the UN, and it lists his accomplishments here. And he used the Hague Conference in 1899 to resolve and establish International Court of Arbitration. So he was. He was a guy. But the other credits I read you weren't his. Those were Trump's. Trump deserves the Nobel Peace Prize, right? I mean, it's obvious. The problem, of course, is the Nobel Peace Prize has become politicized. And has been for a long time. Teddy Roosevelt won in 1906. Now, he's a lot like Trump in that he's not a pacifist. He's certainly very pro-military. But he did resolve a lot of conflicts. Because he's a practical guy, like Trump. He's not a pacifist, but he's also very practical. He realizes that peace is better than war. A guy who I would say didn't deserve it, a president who absolutely did not deserve the Nobel Peace Prize, is Woodrow Wilson. Woodrow Wilson claimed he was going to keep us out of war, and then brought us into World War I, one of the most brutal, deadliest wars in history, and most known for screwing up the end of it and bringing about the conditions for World War II. The bad guy who led World War II, he was a corporal in World War I. His entire unit was killed. He walked out of their trench, I don't know, to get a sandwich or something. Came back, they were all dead. A mortar landed in there, killed them all. And that probably messed him up good. He was probably already messed up. So, and the Treaty of Versailles. I mean, I don't have to rehash it if you know anything about history. Learn some damn history if anybody's watching under the age of 25. Read some damn history about how World War II was really just an extension of World War One. I mean, it really was. And over the years, various people won, and there's some people here that are not undeserving. And then some years they didn't even award it, mostly during wars. During World War II, they didn't award it. Um, but eventually, and Martin Luther King Jr. won. He certainly deserved it. He was a leader who brought about peace. He adhered to Gandhi's philosophy of nonviolence. That's a peaceful guy. Totally deserving. UNICEF won one year. Um, but it had been always politicized. Amnesty International, Mother Teresa, Lech Walesa, the Polish leader in '83 who helped get the Poles out from under the Soviets, the 14th Dalai Lama, absolutely peaceful guy. But then you got '94, or Nelson Mandela. But they didn't just give it to Nelson Mandela, they also gave it to Frederick William de Klerk, the guy who ran South Africa and apartheid at the time. So, I mean, it's great they had a peace deal, but wasn't Nelson Mandela a little more deserving? Possibly. '94, Yasser Arafat, Shimon Peres, and Yitzhak Rabin won for trying to get peace in the Middle East. How'd that work out? A lot of people think Yasser Arafat's a total terrorist. Like, why would you give it to him? And they're not exactly peaceful in Israel when it comes to this conflict. So, but it's political. It's like, oh, here's a prize to encourage you. You made a little headway. Here's some reward, as opposed to say John Hume and David Tremble in '98 for finding a peaceful solution to the conflict in Northern Ireland. That thing raged forever, and this peace actually held in '98. And there's people, but it's become very political. And and I must have skipped over Henry Kissinger and the Vietnamese gentleman who was his counterpart negotiating peace. But it wasn't even a peace; it was an armistice, and it kind of sort of held. Jimmy Carter won, and I would say Jimmy Carter as a president was pretty peaceful. As peaceful as presidents go. He's even more peaceful than Teddy, really. But Barack Obama, no. He hadn't even done anything. It wasn't that he had done some things. They weren't very peaceful. Sending drones into countries that we're not even at war with and murdering people, that's not peaceful. And that was known 9 months into his presidency. 4 days into his presidency, he sent his first drone. It killed innocent people. Now, the Pentagon lied about it. Said, oh no, they're all militants. And then later it came out. It was only 9 months and he accepted the Nobel Peace Prize. The dumbest thing, probably one of the dumbest things he's done. This will forever be, to me, a reason why his entire presidency is just a sham, that he would accept this award. Now, if he had been offered it and he had just gone, well, thank you very much, but I think more people are deserving than me, I would have had a ton of respect for him. I would have said, wow, good for you. But, he won it for, quote, his extraordinary efforts to strengthen international diplomacy and cooperation between peoples. That's absolutely not what he did. If you had come to the end of his presidency, you couldn't have given him this award. It would have been impossible for what he did during his tenure. They were fools to give him this award that early. Maybe you could have given him the award when he didn't declare war against Syria. Maybe. I mean, at least it would have been something. I mean, they essentially gave it to him for a speech. And on and on. And now, in 2020, Trump's been nominated twice. He's got 3 creds just this year. 3 of those creds are from this year. The other 2 creds are from previous years. He hasn't brought us into a new war. He's trying to bring the troops home. He's being fought every step of the way. Now, you can argue he's not a pacifist. He murdered Soleimani with a drone. I mean, that was pretty crazy. But, it was probably a net gain in terms of peace. He took out a guy who was causing us all sorts of problems with minimal casualties. I think the way he went about that was wrong. I wouldn't have done it. But, it's done. And looking back on it, well, it's probably a net gain for the world. So it's clear to me that the Nobel Peace Prize, if it's worth a damn, should go to Trump. But people on the other side of the aisle, the possessed Trump haters, are putting out articles like this in the Atlantic. End the Nobel Peace Prize. The Trump nomination shows that peace had its chance and blew it. What a terrible subheadline. What a dumb statement. This is easily the dumbest thing I've ever read. I can't even get through it. That you would hate Trump so much that, what next? If Trump was nominated for an Oscar, would you say, that's it, end the Oscars? if Trump was given an award for, I don't know, a guy who had most tanning salon visits, would you then say, that's it, no more tanning salons? These people are possessed. They hate Trump so much, they're willing to destroy anyone and anything that supports him in any way, no matter how small. They're at war. These people think they're in a war. They've drawn a line in the sand and said, if you're on the Trump side, we hate you and we're going to destroy you, and we will use every means possible to do it. This is that. They're trying to intimidate the Nobel Peace Prize Committee not to give Trump the award. He clearly deserves it. At this point, clearly. No one's going to catch him this time. But they won't give it to him because it's political. Because it's totally political. They are petrified of giving him any kind of, positive reviews. Because if even they acknowledge it once, they feel that they'll be beaten over the head with it like a club. And deservedly so. Because they delayed and delayed. They could have, in the beginning, acknowledged sort of the basics on Trump. Well, he, seems to be good with the economy. Nope, they couldn't acknowledge that. They didn't acknowledge it until it was so painfully obvious, they finally kind of acknowledged it. Sort of. A handful of people did. And then the moment the economy went south, they said, see? Trump economy. Even though it had nothing to do with Trump, really, or his policies. I think people like this are possessed. They're possessed. And they really should just take a step back and really rethink, what they're trying to accomplish in their lives. Because these sorts of articles, when history looks back on them, they will look back on these articles like, the articles that argued for segregation or, argued for other things that are on the wrong side of history. That's what this will be. It'll be people in the future looking at this and like, what was wrong with Trump? He seemed like he was doing a good job. Why were these people so angry with him? And it's not just about winning this election. It's also about making the last 4 years a different 4 years. Rewriting the history so Trump doesn't even get credit for that if he loses this election. It is Orwellian, yes. They want to destroy the history because they cannot have this. They cannot let Trump work. If Trump works, then other people will emulate him. Other countries will emulate them. And what will that get you? Well, it'll get you some very independent countries that are just out for them. So a lot of this, I believe, is driven by this idea of globalism, which is pure money for the people who are supporting it. It's not like, oh, I'm a globalist and I love the global stage and I'd rather have that than nations. No, it's about money. They were making billions off the system as it was all extended over the world. China makes this stuff. We resell it and package it. We make all the money. Everybody in China is a slave. Everybody in Europe and the United States are our customers. And we're screwing everybody left and right. We make all the money. Who cares about the United States collapsing? I'm a citizen of the world. I got $1 billion. I can live anywhere I want. These people are that dumb. And their useful idiots are people, I think, in the Atlantic who would write articles like this. You know? And they get a little pat on the head. Oh, that's good. That's good. You wrote that article. You get to keep your job and your little apartment in New York. Yes, you do. That's so good. You want a little num-num? Oh, a little num-num. That's what these people are, in my view. They're lapdogs. They don't think for themselves. End the Nobel Peace Prize? Okay. Go with that. Go with that. See, what next? Trump the other day helped an old lady up the stairs. We should push her down the stairs. The other day, Trump celebrated International Cupcake Day. Isn't it time to get rid of that? The other day, Trump pet a puppy. Oh, nice puppy. Puppies are obviously alt-right. That's the kind of insanity that's coming out of these people. They'll say and do anything. And at the end of the day, I don't think they believe in any of this. They don't believe in anything other than lining their own pockets. They have become that which they hate. You know, they hate, we hate big corporations. They make too much money and little people should get money. We might have to move you to another division and you may get a pay cut. What? I'm only making $60,000 a year as it is. And our benefits aren't that great. You think I could live on $60K in New York? Not that anybody's living in New York these days. I'm sorry. I'm ranting. That's it.